Okay, I'm doing a nature vlog thing, and the topic of this is, sometimes it seems like everyone's going faster than you. It's hard to kind of keep up with everyone else. There's a Bob Marley lyric that says, when the race is hard to run, it means you just can't take the pace. And I'd recommend listening to the rest of that song because a lot of meaningful lyrics. Let me slow down a bit so I don't get out of breath. I don't need to film my face the whole time. This is much nicer, so I'm gonna film this. But if someone comes by, I might pause the video or go to my face or something. Filming people, it's kind of weird. This whole thing is kind of different than I'm used to. It's very quiet. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I should just record a video and talk about stuff because I'm thinking about all this stuff, and here I am. So I think the point of what I'm saying is to kind of, summarize it and then get into it a little further, is that I don't think that it's always that you just can't take the pace or that everyone's going to fast for you to keep up with. I think that it's plainly that a lot of people have competitively, over a long period of time, gotten, quicker and quicker and quicker. Maybe they have ways of doing it. They're more efficient. They have a certain method and a certain way of doing things that allows them to compete with everyone else. And it's a lot to figure out. And when you're a young guy like me, you're trying to go in the real world and, work and stuff, and even driving to work and you see everyone, they're so chaotic. I mean, sometimes when you're trying to compete with them, it seems like, how do I get on that level? But the way I'm trying to word it and describe it here is kind of like people are kind of chaotic and they're kind of rushing. And if you're trying to compete with that, you're trying to compete with a bunch of people that are, no offense to anyone, guzzling a bunch of coffee, most of them in the morning, and they're getting all hyped up, and you're competing with that. And it's kind of intense. And I think that part of the problem is people are acting and thinking very quickly, and it may not always be rationally. So when you're trying to get into all this and you're trying to think straight, you're trying to think rationally, it's very intimidating. So I think the point of what I'm getting at is, why let go of being rational, of being calm, of having peace of mind? We have this modern day, and we have the ability to work and make a living, and we created this, okay? We created this for ourselves to make a better way of living. And if there's no end goal, then why are we working? Because food is free, shelter, there's trees everywhere, there's water, there's food, it's all free. We created a much more complex way of living so it could benefit us. But the thing is, it's starting to not benefit us, and then it's kind of ruining the purpose of doing it in the first place. Why would we? I think this is why a lot of people are losing motivation to work. Why would I get a job, work my butt off, when I see a lot of people have been let down by the system and the things that they're promised to get following their lifestyle? And I think that's why a lot of people in this younger generation now are realizing that they want to live more and they want to work less, even if it means not buying a home, living in a smaller home, and being able to actually see the world. So it's a weird thing, but this also ties in the fact of having a purpose in life. That ties into having a job, basically. When you have a job, I need to catch me. When you have a job, you actually feel like you have a purpose, especially if it's a job you like. You wake up, there's something you're doing. If you're doing a job that is a part of the society, let's say you're a bus driver, you're a plumber, then you're waking up in the morning and you know that you're helping this society function that you live in, that benefits you. You get to wake up, you get to live this way of life, and you're, contributing towards that. So I think that's, a lot of people don't want to work as much now because they see the repercussions of working too much. But then people are lacking having a purpose because they're not a part of the society. So we're in a very weird place right now. But everything in this video, I kind of go off topic, but it all ties in the fact that this modern way of living is kind of crazy. People are rushing. People are quick. And I don't think we need to be a part of that. And I think to be successful, you don't have to be like that. Because if to be successful, you have to act all crazy and like you're rushing all the time, then why is everyone why, how do I say this? How come everyone who's doing that is not so successful then? Plain and simply. Okay? And it's because the really successful people aren't rushing and freaking out and acting irrationally. They're taking a step back and they're making plans. They're going to college and getting a better position. And they're not just rush. So, like, I really don't get why people are in a rush all the time. Went snowboarding the other day. Everyone's in a rush. And, it looks like a lot of people aren't even having fun because they're kind of in a rush to do everything. And I'm maybe not everyone, but like a lot of people. And then you drive up there, same thing in the parking lot. And yeah, the whole kind of thing that a lot of times as a young person getting into this lifestyle, getting into the workforce and all that, we want to compete with that. But you're going to drive yourself insane if you try competing with a bunch of people that are acting crazy. Okay, so just take a step back, learn to enjoy the ride, okay? Because if you don't enjoy the moment, and a lot of people have told me this and I've realized this now, if you're not living in the moment and enjoying it, you're going to look back and realize that you should have. Enjoying yourself is a thing that maybe not everyone has the ability to do. Maybe it seems like it's, what do they call it, a privilege? So if you have the ability to enjoy the moment, just to sit back and actually appreciate what you have, your life's going to go a lot better, and you're not going to always have to look for the destination point. A lot of times we're looking for we're going from A to B, and we want to end up at B, and then that's where we're going to be happy. That's where we're going to be able to do certain things. And I think the main thing here is happiness. Maybe the destination is where you're actually able to accomplish things. Maybe the destination is where you're able to do the things you want to do, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't enjoy the ride getting there. Okay? And once you realize this, you start enjoying your life so much more, because you realize that life can be enjoyable if you kind of flip your mindset a little bit, look at the world a different way, and then you kind of have to put yourself there. If your life's not going so well, it's not always going to be easy. But that's why it's good to realize that life does have the potential to be enjoyable. And let's say from my experience, it's not easy. It's hard work. So you got to work at it. But I think we all could say, our lives could be more enjoyable. And this is kind of the idea of having improvement and, liking improvement. Our lives are so busy now that I think that's part of the reason why a lot of people are comfortable where they're at. Because to make a change that would actually be life-changing and change the way they live their life, the way they do things, it would be so much work. They might not even have the time for it. It might not seem possible. But I think that's why, whichever way we can do it, it's all different based on the person. We need to step outside of our comfort zone in a way that enables us to grow. And if we get too comfy, we're just going to be comfy with not growing and not seeing improvement. And, I'm not one to tell people how to live their life or to push people, but this is a personal thing. If you want to personally make your life better, you're going to kind of have to get up and work towards it. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be cheap. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to probably accumulate, money or something, currency, or maybe DIY it yourself, whichever route you're taking. It's going to be hard work. And no matter what, it's going to be hard work. I feel like there's this imagination now where people think that you don't have to work if you want to become super successful. But that's basically an illusion. because the like large amounts of money come from a lot of work, plain and simply. So if someone's doing the work, it's hard work no matter what. So I think we need to realize this, that being comfortable is kind of something that we all do as humans. We all get comfy. We all accept who we are. You know, it's part of a balance of life. We need to be happy with how we live our life, accept how we live our life. And I think one big lesson and reminder is to not be too hard on ourselves. But then with that, it's a balance. If we do that too much, we'll probably forget to actually work on ourselves enough to make improvements, to make change. And it's funny because this actually all ties into the fact of everyone living too fast. I really think if a lot of people are able to take a step back from the life that they live, slow down a bit and think, they would figure out a way to make themselves healthier, to do the things that they want to do. Like maybe they think they need to lose some weight, maybe they want to build some muscle, maybe they want to just be more fit and in shape. You know, whatever it is. I think the thing that's not allowing many people to do this, why we have such a unhealthy society, is because we have this super work crazed society where you're just supposed to work, and it's so competitive, and it's been happening for so many years that it's, by this point, it's utter insanity. And it's basically the option of, do you want to compete with that, or do you want to try to work with that somehow, or do you want to try to figure out something else? So, I mean, then you might wonder, what else can you do then? Well, I think no matter what, you're going to have to work hard. But there's a lot of options. Like, some people do farming. Some people actually talk to farmers, and they know someone who will give them land if they tend the farm and give them a certain percent of the income they make. Just as an idea. There's a lot of different ways that you can figure out to live your life differently and kind of break away from this crazy lifestyle. But then again, if you join a big farm and a big company, they're probably going to rush you. It's not going to be great. They may not pay you all that well, let's be honest. So I think we need to figure out ways of living our life that, you know, we're actually happier with. And with the way that the economy is, we might have to figure out a lot of ways of living that are just cheaper, saving money. So I'm just going to end it now because I'm not used to walking and talking, and it's kind of weird. Like I keep getting out of breath because I'm talking so much. I'm used to breathing a lot, so it's kind of making me think weird. So that's the end of this.